It's all the way live on Raw Talk. Welcome to the Singles and Soulmate edition of tonight's Raw Talk. Singles who are ready to mingle and looking for their soulmate. That's up next on Raw Talk Live.
Yay, oh yay, yay, yay.
Yes, this is beautiful. Holy applause. Look, it's so bright in here. I got to take, that's much better. What's going on, babies? It's me, Miss B. Welcome to Raw Talk Live with yours truly and the one and only Girlfriend Peggy. Girlfriend Peggy, what are you doing?
I'm right here, girlfriend.
What you writing?
Right here.
What you writing down? You taking notes? What you writing? You playing the lotto? What's going on?
I'm sending out last minute, join us Raw Talk Live to some friends, to some personal friends to join us.
That's so good. That's so good. How was your day?
Beautiful. Beautiful. Had a wonderful day today. I can see we behind each other about 6 or 7 seconds delay. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know what all you can do is take note of it and act accordingly. Right. I don't know what it is about this that it does that. Right. I just know it does it.
Yeah.
What can you say? What you doing now?
Just trying to adjust some things.
Hey, but I had a beautiful, lovely day. And so I'm excited about getting everything going. What is it? Sean is in the building. He's here early. He says, "Why do you all look so good tonight?" Sean, that's not the half of it. You haven't even seen the good looking part. The good looking part is still to come. Are you kidding? Well, thank you for the compliment. It's our goal to look good all the time for ourselves and for anyone else who cares to look. Ain't that right, Girlfriend Peggy?
That's always right. That's always right.
Yes, it is. Well, I'm certainly going to have to continue my education with StreamYard. I had some difficulty today because I prepared a beautiful video opening to introduce our guests and to introduce our new segment that we're so excited about. And I can't get it to work for me tonight. So, next time. But listen, no matter what's going on, our spirits are high. We are excited about being here, and the bottom line is that you'll get to meet a very beautiful, brilliant woman who is a single. And so, Girlfriend Peggy, let's just talk about this a little bit. Folks out there single and ready to mingle, they're looking for their soulmate, and we want to help them, right?
That's right, absolutely. We came up with the idea of let's do a moment in the spotlight so that we can play a small part in connecting people to each other. I mean, you may see this young lady or gentleman that we feature on the show and like everything they have to say, like their personality, the way they look, the way they think, and you want to, go a little bit further. Who knows where it might lead? It's a little bit different from online dating. In fact, that you get a chance to actually be online with us, to talk to her, to maybe ask her a question. And then, like I said, maybe sparks might fly within a few seconds. And hey, that's the girl for me. I like her.
Yeah.
You never know where it might end up. So
you never know.
See what happens. Yeah.
You never know. And so we're excited about that. And what we're going to do is that when you see someone who sparks your interest, then you reach out to us via email at rawtalk2021@gmail.com. and let us know of your interest and send your information. You send your video, you send a picture, you send your social media information,
Yes.
phone number, all of those kind of things. And that person, either the young lady or gentleman, will have an opportunity to review that. And if they are interested, they will reach out to you.
Right.
Okay, so that's
Yeah.
how that's going to work for people who are curious about that. Because just because you're presenting yourself doesn't mean that you want anybody and everybody to have immediate access to your personal information or your social media pages. And so, just to keep it easy and above board, we'll do it like that using our email. And
Yes.
we'll just see what goes from there. I know that's going to mean more work for us because we're going to have to check the emails and check you out, but it'll be fun. And so it's all part of the process. So that's how it's going to be done, and we just want to have some fun. So without further ado, we don't want to keep folks waiting. We want folks to know right away and a chance to meet this lovely young lady. And let me tell you, she is she's tall, she's slim, she's shapely, she's beautiful. I met her out exercising. We lived in the same neighborhood for a while, and Peggy, I would get up out and go out in the morning and walk and do my thing, and she was doing the same thing. I was walking all through the neighborhood, and she was focused. She was walking up the street and down the street, back up and back and up and back. I said, girl, how many times did you do that? She said, child, I do it like about 5 times. And I'm like, oh my God. But she gets it in. She is a lovely woman. So without further ado, first names only, I introduce Dawn to you. Hello, Dawn.
Hey, how are you?
Hello.
Hi, I'm doing
How
well.
are you?
How are you?
I am good. I'm so excited to be here. I love the energy. Hello, Peggy. How are you?
Dawn? How you doing, beautiful?
I am good. I am good.
Good. You looking fabulous. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
We're so
She is
excited to have you
absolutely
here today.
gorgeous.
Yes, she is.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. And you ladies look beautiful as well. I love it. This is a sight to see tonight.
Yes, it is. Well, thank you so much for joining us. This is the Singles and Soulmates section or segment, rather, of the program. And we're happy to have you be our first single. And so the idea is that you come on and tell us a little bit about yourself. So tell us something about yourself, where you're from and what your interests are, your hobbies and things like that.
Okay, well, first I want to say I'm so honored to be considered the first. My name is Dawn, and that means new beginning. So,
Love it.
Yeah. So, well, my name is Dawn, and originally I was born in Jamaica. And I moved to Miami, Florida, as a little girl and grew up in Miami. I went to school first at Florida A&M University, FAMU in the house. And yes, I am a rattler. And, pretty much spent some time in Tallahassee. And then eventually I relocated to Atlanta for work. My background is performing arts. Currently, I teach theater to young people. I introduce them to the world of theater. That is my passion and my heart. I am definitely an artsy girl. And I love, outside of, theater, I absolutely love exercising. As you stated, I try my best to stay. It's so funny because now that I'm older and I'm all into it, I'm like, why didn't I do this when I was younger? Why wasn't I as active when I was younger? But it's okay. I'm glad that I'm getting it in. I do have a fitness page that I keep up with, so I challenge myself all the time. Absolutely love that. I am an avid reader. I love the movies, of course. I love anything outdoors on a beautiful day. I'm there, whether it be walking up and down the Beltline or at Piedmont Park or going out to have brunch outside. I love, love, love being outside on a beautiful day. So that's actually my ideal first date. It's not major, but a nice picnic in the park on a beautiful day with
Mm,
great company and great conversation. That's
yeah.
like my ideal date. So that's just a little bit about me. I am also a mother of one daughter. She is 19. Love my daughter. That's my heart. Just one though, just one. She's much older, so this is a new season in my life because she's in college. So I feel like this is
Mm,
like me starting all over again, being quote unquote single,
yeah.
and so I'm excited. I'm excited for what's in store.
That's going to be really nice. And you also have some interest in groups that keep you active as well.
Oh
Um,
yes, absolutely. I am very active in my church. I am the singles leader over our singles ministry. So what you all are doing with this single soulmate spotlight, I absolutely love it. I'm all for it. I think that if we can because a lot of times we know a lot of single people, single men, single
Yeah.
women, and we always hear their concerns. I just can't find nobody, and da 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 da.
Right.
And your heart's desire is to see people get
Get
together.
together.
So
Yeah.
that's a passion of mine. I love hooking people up and trying to make love connections. That's something that I do all the time, even outside of myself. So it's not just about me connecting. I like to see other people connect. I'm definitely a hopeless romantic. I love love.
oh, see, that's wonderful. And aren't you part of a biker group too?
Oh, yeah. So over the pandemic, we were all concerned about going to the gym. So of course I took my break from the gym just, out of safety, and I started to work out outside. So my daughter and I started going out biking. Well, first of all, let me kudos to my daughter who got me my first bike in
Mm.
2020 on my birthday. So I
That's
was
We're
like
not
pretty
talking
good.
about a
13.
motorcycle. This is
No,
not a
no, no, no. We're
motorcycle. This
talking
is a
about like
bike
a
bike.
bicycle, like yeah. And I was
Okay.
talking about it, and she remembered what I said and surprised me. I was just like, oh my God. So as soon the day that I got the bike, I'm in the neighborhood riding up and down. So we decided to start riding at the park, and at the park, I met a bike club called Dope Peddlers. Shout out to Dope Peddlers. They're in Atlanta. A lot of people know them, and I just started riding with them. And so I loved it. I fell in love with biking. Even now, I do cycling classes at LA Fitness. So it's just anything again to get me outside and working out outside on a great day. That's me all day long. So yeah, that's definitely something that I enjoy doing.
And so a man who enjoys doing those types of things would be
Mhm.
a man that would
Yeah,
fit with you.
yeah, I can picture it now. We on our bikes, we just biking through the park. Yes, I love I definitely want someone who is active, someone who likes to get out and work out and keep themselves up. I'm not necessarily like the gym rat, that I'm always in the
Right.
gym, always in the gym, but just someone who, believes in health, believes in keeping themselves healthy and is active, so we can get out and do things and stay healthy. Definitely.
That's
Yes.
going to be that's going to be really good. Now, what are some of the primary characteristics that you look for in a man that you find attractive?
Okay, well, the first and foremost, and Miss B, you and I have talked about this. I am a woman of God, and I definitely must have a man of God that has his own personal relationship with the Lord, that is a believer. Let me be specific, in Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Because I'm telling you, on these profiles, you see people that say spiritual, and I have encountered spiritual, but not the spiritual spiritual that is in line with my faith. So I'm a woman of faith, and I definitely feel that I must have that. That's important because, we know the Bible says, how can two walk together except they agree? And I believe that the huge part of that statement is in that spiritual faith. We believe in one God. We're believing in serving and being what He's called us to be. So that is my number one. I also want a man who knows what he wants. You know what I mean? Like, when a man knows what he wants, I believe he goes after it. And if a man knows what he wants, it shows in his confidence. He won't be wishy-washy with you. He'll come straight for what he wants. So that's important. He knows what he wants. He knows who he is, knows what his vision is, knows what, his purpose is. And he's fully aware. So I think those two things are number one on my list when it comes to characteristics. Yeah.
Wow, that's good. Now, does he need to be tall? How tall are you? You're tall.
Yes, let me say this now, because I am 6 feet tall, which, that is very tall for a woman. Which, believe it or not, height is not a huge stipulation for me. And the reason why is because when you're tall like I am, which is rare for a woman to be my height, you realize that it's not a lot of tall men. And most tall men, this is just my opinion, they like short women.
Short women.
So
Really?
Yes, I don't meet a lot of tall guys. I have dated men that are literally 5'8", 5'9". Yes, yes. I don't have a problem with it. I've adjusted to it. It's not a deal breaker for me. Of course, I get why women like tall men, because that sense of what is it, protection, or feeling like they're like a little girl,
Yes.
So I get it, and it would be wonderful to meet a guy, my height or taller, but it's not a deal breaker for me. But I am 6 feet tall. So the only thing I do say this, when I do meet a guy that's shorter than me, I want him to be comfortable. I want him to be confident. So if I throw on my heels, he's not like feeling awkward, because if he's feeling awkward, I'm gonna feel awkward. So I want us to, I want him to be, yeah, this is my girl. Yeah, she's 6 feet tall, and I want him to be confident so that we can, walk into a room and we don't even care. It is what it is. Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. You want him to be so confident that he commands the room.
Yes. Yes.
He commands the room when he comes in too. And then you are just the icing on the cake.
Exactly. And you'll be surprised. There are some men who, tall women is not their thing. I've met some people where, I'm too tall for them, and that's okay. And I don't have no issues with that. So yes, I am 6 feet tall. I'm glad you brought that up. I need everybody to know that.
Yes, definitely. Well, we want to say hello to some friends who have joined us in the building. Cynthia Darville is here. Hey, girl, how you doing?
Hey, girl.
And our dear friend Michelle Reese Staggart is in the building. Hi to you. She says hi, everybody. And of course, Sean is here because he's just cool like that. But that's good to know. Now, are you particular about a man's a style of dress or his occupation, or whether or not he has children, or if they're grown or not? How do you feel about those things?
Well, that's when now we're getting into the particulars. Yes, I am, because I am a mother of a 19-year-old. I personally would not like to start all over again. So I'm okay with a guy having his own children. It's just when they say they want kids, I'll be like, oh Lord, I don't know about this. Because
yes, you do.
yeah, I'm not interested in starting all over again. Like I said, this is like a new chapter for me. So I'm okay with a man having children. I think at my age, by the way, I am 45, and I date, older, and I do date slightly younger, not too much younger. So I notice that with younger men, they typically do want children. So that's usually why I don't typically date younger. But I am at a stage where I'm not looking to have children. So he can have his kids. I have my daughter, and we could, if they grown, that's all the better. Now,
That's
when
right.
they're like, you just got a 6-month old, yeah.
No.
That's like me, because of course, that's your spouse. You want to take care of, your stepkids and so forth. So yeah, the older the better. Definitely with occupation, as long as he is established in his field, in his career, I think I'm past the stage where people are with odd jobs bouncing around. I've been there, done that, not trying to go back there. So as long as he is in his career, whatever that career is, he doesn't have to be the millionaire, but he loves what he's doing, and he's good at what he does. I think, because for me, I do desire a leader, and I want to see that leadership quality not only in our home, but even on his job. He takes his job seriously. He's a hard worker. He's a man of integrity. So those are the things that I look for when it comes to the career portion of his. Yeah.
Yeah. None of them 6-month-old babies. You know what that means, right? He's still doing the baby mom.
Exactly. Like, you just had a baby. Right. And then, and what, is she not, well, you were all married? What's going on? Yeah. Yeah. I'm not interested. No.
No,
So,
there's too much going on there. Got to
yes.
give a shout out to Janet, my dear friend Janet Carr,
Hey,
Fraction in the building. Hi, Janet. She says hello, ladies. And my friend Jane, she says she's also 6 feet tall, and she is.
oh, yes.
Yes, another sister that's 6 feet tall, and she says she's trying to be open with the height thing.
Yes, I would encourage being open. I know it's I know women, let me tell you, I have friends, if you are not 6 feet and taller, they're not even looking in your direction. But as a tall woman, we have to be realistic and be open-minded.
Most definitely. Jamila's in the building too. Hey, thank you, my love. Hey, it's good to see you. Thank you for joining us. And if you're just joining us tonight, girlfriend Peggy and I are talking to Dawn. This is the singles and soulmates section, or I keep calling it a section. It's not a section.
Yeah.
It's a segment. A segment of our show. This is our first time featuring a single, and we look forward to doing this on a weekly basis. Dawn is our first single. She is beautiful and lovely and ready to mingle, and so we're just talking with her about what it's like being single in this COVID world, and the things that we're doing to get ourselves out there, to get some exposure, and to meet some people. And so, Dawn, as the head of the singles ministry for your church, what are some things that you have done to help people to bring people together?
Well, one of the biggest things, so shout out to Spirit and Truth Worship Center. It's actually my pastor's wedding anniversary. They've just celebrated 31 years, Pastor Kurt and Pastor Nedra Buckmeyer. So, but, being over the singles ministry, one thing that we do, we're so close. Through the pandemic, we did this, how everyone was doing the virtual happy hours. So we had started to do that every single Friday virtually. We will meet together. And at that time, and I'm sure you know this, during the pandemic, the whole online dating literally started, everybody was online dating.
Yes.
So we were kind of like encouraging each other through the process. So a lot of us had started dating online and started meeting people. So we were almost like each other's encouragers and coaches. We would show our profile and make sure our profile are up to par. So it was almost like a journey we took together as a group. And it was so much fun, and we learned a lot. Recently, I had, going back to what you talked about, this passion of bringing people together, we did this event. We called it the Royal Suite, where kings and queens meet. And it was a virtual dating show event. And so I had reached out to some other single ministries, and shout out to Elizabeth Baptist Church. Their singles ministry joined us and helped us put it all together. And it was such a cool event. Everyone was all dressed up. And so it was an opportunity for different people to come together and have private moments. So, on Zoom, you can have those breakout rooms.
Yes.
So that was a part of the agenda. So everybody was able to rotate, almost like speed dating. And they were able to talk privately, but it was an invite, it was invitation only. And so it was just gathering people who are like-minded and putting them in the same space where they can mix and mingle, where they probably wouldn't have never done that during the pandemic because everything was kind of shut down. So it went so well. I had gotten back so many great feedback. So it's something that I'm looking forward to doing again. So yeah, that was some of the things that we did. Of course, once the regulations started to relax a little bit, we've done some social events. We've gone out to dinner. Even for Valentine's Day, we exchanged gifts on Valentine's Day. So all of this, even though we're single and we're desiring a mate, we still encourage each other in our singleness. And I think that's important because you have to be content where you are. Sometimes we can be so almost depressed about the fact that we haven't found anybody. You can get frustrated at times, and I've been there. You get tired of the online dating. You're like, I'm about to delete this thing. But in your singleness, learning how to appreciate that, your freedom, being able to go when you want to go. So we do a lot of discussions about being single and what it means, and even not just about getting someone, but also where are we right now? How are we growing? How are we preparing to be that wife or to be that husband? So we have guys in our group too,
Yes.
So, and we've even opened up our singles group where people from other cities were able to come on virtually and fellowship with us.
See, and that's a wonderful thing, especially I would think for Christian people who may not do, who might be afraid of online dating and who don't do the club scene.
Yeah.
And even though we were in a situation where there wasn't so much of that going on, but just to have the alternative to do something like the Zoom party you created can make people a little bit more comfortable.
Yes. And everybody was like, I have never done anything like this before, but they really enjoyed it. And I think you just kind of have to make use of what we have. So the whole Zoom, the virtual world has just blown up. And to me, the advantage is that you're not limited to where you are alone. You can have people from different cities, be able to come in and to fellowship and to be a part of it. So you're being exposed, just like online dating, to people all over.
Yes. Our friend Jamila says that she is 5'10". I can attest to that. And that she married a man who was 5'5". Needless to say, and I guess, well, anyway, she married a man that was 5'5", but she says she is now engaged to a man that is 6'7".
Oh,
so keep
huge
looking up.
Okay. Thank you, Jamila. I'm gonna keep hope alive.
It can happen. It can happen. Cynthia says sometimes you're not looking to marry, but would just like to get together and enjoy enjoy Jesus and life.
Yes, I love what she just said, and if all that was my mindset with that event, if no one hooked up or were able to just match, the fact that we can just fellowship and just have a good time as single people, because a lot of times, people look at singles and look like we got a disease or something. Like what? Like
what's the matter with you?
Right, exactly. Like, why are you still single? You still single. You ain't got no man, but it's okay.
And I mean, like, well, do you have one?
Exactly.
Why are you single?
Exactly. So even the fellowship, sometimes, you may not you meet your husband, but you meet a good friend, or you meet someone that's a good, resourceful person that can help take you somewhere or expose you to other things. You just never know. Right.
No. And you have to stay open. So now we've talked about at least most of the good things. Okay. But what would
Okay.
be a deal breaker for you, Dawn? What's a
Okay.
no?
Okay. One of the biggest no-nos for me, and this is not anything major, but I don't, because I'm learning myself as I date and meet people. I just don't like a guy that is, don't judge me. I don't like boring guys. Does that make sense?
Oh, it makes plenty of sense. You
Yeah.
need somebody who you can converse with that will stimulate your intellect, because
Yes.
stimulation
Yes.
begins first in the mind.
Yes, I need to be stimulated mentally. So when I'm talking to you, I'm a talker, as you can see. So I can hold the conversation, but I want us to be able to interact with each other. So for
Together.
me, when a guy doesn't have any conversation, he doesn't, we can't talk, like there's no communication.
No
I
flow.
can't.
It's not
I
flowing.
can't.
Yeah.
That communication is, I know it sounds cliche, but communication is key. And I know in getting to know you, and also even when we're together, the communication has to continue. Another pet peeve, inconsistency. Lord have mercy.
Peggy, she's singing your song. She's singing your song, Peggy. Tell her, Peggy.
Inconsistency.
She is
I
hitting it
was
on the
like,
head.
did somebody please send out the memo that consistency.
It's
You got to be
everything.
consistent. It's, that communication and consistency, consistent communication is
Yeah.
important to build, to learn each
Important.
other. You can't just be sporadic. You can't say, hey, how you doing? And then 5 days later, I don't hear from you. And then I'm like, what is going on here? So, that's always for me two things: communication and consistency. I can't deal with it because in your mind, you're trying to figure this person out, but you can't,
Mm.
and you don't want to assume, right? So I want someone who could communicate and be consistent.
Yeah. And if you're not, then I'm going to assume that I'm not important to you.
Exactly.
I'm going to, right or wrong, I'm going to make the assumption that you have some other interests, that I'm not your only interest, that you've got some other things going on, because people make time for what's important to them.
Excuse me. Yes, absolutely. I'm a firm believer of that, because you can't tell me. It's like with us, when you think about something you want to do or someone you're interested in, you're going to make the time. I don't care if
Okay.
it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And then you're so like, you want to stay consistent because you don't want to lose that connection. So you're right. When you see that inconsistency, it does make you wonder, okay, clearly you have other things going on, or I'm not that interesting to you that you will
Right.
want to
That
keep it.
part.
And that's okay. But just say that, right? Just let me know. So there's there's no expectation in,
Right.
okay, what happened, or okay, what's going on, So yeah.
Yeah, because if I'm talking to someone and then I go a day, or don't let it be two, I'm already writing you off. I'm
Yes.
writing you off.
Yes.
And if you coming back, you're gonna have to speak up and say something that's going to really get my attention. Cynthia says that she enjoys singleness, but also mingling safely, and that's what doing it on Zoom, like you do it with your singles group at church. That's what that allows you to do.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, mingling, and I am a advocate for dating. I think dating is a great way for us to learn a lot about ourselves. You know what I mean? In your
Yeah.
dating and you're meeting people, you're learning the things that you like, the things that you don't like in the individual. And I think it's healthy, of course, in a safe way. You want to be safe. And when I say dating, I'm not saying you going around, you're not loosey goosey. You know
It's
what I
not
mean?
sex.
Right. It's not
Having
sex.
sex is not dating.
Exactly. You're meeting people, you're getting to know them, you're engaging, whether it be through communication or activities, and you're learning each other. And I know that word dating is one of those words that people use it in so many different contexts. So again, like she mentioned, the mingling, I consider that like a form of dating, where you're meeting new people and you're hanging out and you're just learning people and getting to know them, and then seeing where it goes from there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
From Pain to Purpose is in the building.
Yeah, hey, Elder
Congratulations to you,
Amber. That's she's our elder over the singles ministry. I'm the leader, she's over me. And so thank you guys. I shared it with the group. So some of them may be coming through on tonight. So thank you guys for hanging out.
Yes, that's beautiful. And know that you can be a part of the show too, just like Dawn.
Yes. Oh, she's gonna come with it, honey. She's a diva. I love this. Listen, Miss B and Miss Peggy, y'all got to keep doing this because I think it's exciting, and this is good.
This is good. This is good. And Cynthia says, I like a man who can have a conversation, but not that he's always talking about himself.
Yeah. That's not a good thing. Yeah.
And I don't know. And what do you think? What's your opinion about talking about past relationships? Is that necessary?
I don't think it's necessary, but I will say this: I give a lot of grace in that area. But reason why is because a lot of times you'll find out that some of these men are, they're in a healing process. So even when I'm engaging with someone in conversation and they bring up their marriage or what happened and so forth, I do try to be sensitive and just, if I can lend an encouragement, because I've been married and divorced, so I know what that process is. And sometimes people are still healing, and even though they want to kind of not talk about it, it's almost hard for them not to talk about it because they have to let it out. So I'm one of those people that I can have a conversation with someone and they'll always say, I felt like I just told you my whole life, and I'm like, it's okay. But I definitely think that it does have its place, and you don't want to, just a word to the wise for anyone, you don't want to keep talking about your past relationship. And then this is my thing, Miss B. I don't like when someone put on, so what what happened in their past, they're projecting that onto you. And it's like, well, I did that in my past and I was treated this way in the past, and so I'm not tolerating that with nobody else. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is a whole new situation. How do you know if I'm even going to be that way? You know what I mean? So give me a chance, and don't project that on me and punish me in a sense for what has happened in your past relationship. So, talking about it is one thing, but when you are coming into a new relationship with that baggage and that hurt, and you're almost projecting that on this new encounter, that's not good. Yeah,
that's not good. Cynthia says, now there's a difference between interest and not interested, and you got to know the difference. She said she chooses to know the difference. You can have an interest in somebody, and but they're not interested, and you have to kind of keep it moving. They said, From Pain to Purpose says, you already know how our SALT fam
Salt. So that's SALT. That's the name of our single group is Single Adults Living Truth. That's what it stands for. So yeah, we talk. This is like, that's why I can roll with this, because we talk about these type of things all the time. And like we talk about those inconsistencies. We talk about these things that we look out for, and yeah, we keep each other accountable. We don't tolerate that foolishness.
Tell them, girlfriend Peggy, what's your requirement, Peggy, for keeping in touch with you and being consistent?
Well, I want to be very consistent. I like to keep in touch on a regular daily basis. 3 times a day is good for me. A shout out in the morning. Hello, sweetie, how you doing in the afternoon? It could be a text message. It could be a phone call. It could be a text message. That's fine. And then definitely in the evening, once you get home and get settled, or on the way, drive home, whatever's convenient for you before you go to bed, I want to touch bases with you again. I want to see how your day went. I want to just conversate and get to know a little bit about you. So consistency on a regular basis, because I want to set the tone for what I'm going to be expecting in the future. I want to hear from you.
Yes.
If we're going to be, together and hooking up and really rolling with each other, then we know we need to be accountable and held accountable to each other in a sense. And why not start it from day one?
I love it. Oh my goodness.
Why not start from day one? This is what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
you know, and being clear about what you want is is the most important part of the communication, because you can talk about a lot of different things, but you have to be clear on what you want. And I would think early on in your conversation, each person stating what their intentions are. Say,
Yes.
I am dating with the purpose of finding a mate with whom I can be monogamous and you know, and
And
connected to
marriage, right? And marriage,
exclusively.
yes. I think
And
what you
marriage, if
that's your
marriage is
yes,
yeah.
part of it, and marriage.
yes, Miss B,
Right.
that was so good what you just said, because you're right. We can talk about a lot of things, but we need to be asking the right questions. And I think those
Yeah.
things should be said early on. That way we're not
Right.
wasting each other's
Wasting each
time.
other's
You
time.
know, we're clear on right up, and I'm very much like that. You know,
Exactly.
I let it, even on my dating profile, it says marriage. So that is definitely the end goal for me. But you know, I need you to be clear. I don't want to, and you know, we're talking about all this stuff, but we're not talking about the most important thing.
Hmm.
What is the most important thing we should be talking about right now? And I get, you know, don't get me wrong, we're not coming down like a interrogate, you know, like it's an interrogation.
Interrogation.
But I
Right.
do feel like certain things should be established up front. So that way, again, we're not wasting each other's time. Because if we're not in the same, if we're not going in the same
Place.
direction, what's the
Why
point at
waste
that
each other's
point?
time? Yeah. Right.
Exactly.
Right, you know, cut your losses of time and money and everything else. And I know most of the time, the men are responsible for the dates. You know, especially the first one. Cut your losses on any future dates by getting some of those things and
Out
expectations
the
cleared
way.
up,
Yes.
you know, from the beginning. Cynthia says you have to allow the individual to be who they are. And if that's not what they do, then, you know, you don't have no expectations of that. You
Yeah.
know, you're not, you're not going to be
It's something
confused. She
that's
said
not
that
gonna
she
happen.
has found that, truth is allowing the individual to be who they are without any expectations, you know. But I would have to say that I do have some expectations. I do expect that if you're talking to me and that if you want to be in a relationship with me, there's certain things that I expect to have happen, like the communication, like the honesty, like the
Yes.
regularity, and then, you know, some conversation about, well, where we go from here. So I do have some expectations. I'm expecting a man um, who has the characteristics that will allow me to let him lead.
Yes, and I'm expecting you, again, going back to knowing who you are and knowing what you want. So when we come in on that first date, you know, I want you to tell me some things that you are looking for. So, you know, so that we can even, because I've heard people say, well, you know, we don't want to talk about those things at the beginning. I don't ask a lot of questions. I just let you figure it out. And I don't know, I would like a balance of both. I want you to ask questions. I want to talk about things, and definitely I'm watching. Don't get it twisted now. I know your actions speak louder than words. So I'm also watching for how you are behaving, but I do want to talk about some things as well. So I don't want it to be like this guessing game where I'm just watching and, you know, you're not saying anything. And that's something else. When we're communicating, I should have asked all the questions. I do like a guy, for me personally, I like when a
Yeah.
guy asks me questions about myself. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it makes it seem like he's interested in
Interesting.
getting to know me and finding out about me. I don't, sometimes I feel like some conversations you're the one who's always initiating questions or initiating conversation, and that kind of gets a little boring. Yeah.
It certainly can. Sierra and Sean said, "What's up, Dawn?"
Hey! Hey,
Uh,
that's the salt crew right there. Hey guys.
yes, and they're also saying
Yes,
that they agree that you have to date with a purpose.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
that's the dating part of
Be
the game.
intentional. Be intentional. Know what you're doing and go, you know, be focused on what that goal is. Because
Right.
it's easy to get distracted. You
It
can get
is.
caught up, and then next thing you know, you
um,
caught up with the wrong thing, the wrong one, and you're off track. And you know, when we get caught up with the wrong thing, we're missing out. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
sometimes individuals are there, but we're so distracted. So that's why when we date with a purpose. We know what we're focused on and what we're looking for. And if you don't fit that category, or if you're not in that, then, okay, no love, it's no love lost,
No,
Right.
we might be able to be friends, but we're not going to be.
Exactly.
We're not going to be lovers. We're not going to be connected. Shout out to my radio partner, Brandy Shannon. Thanks, baby. Yeah, we are having a good time, enjoying our time. First time with our singles and soulmates segment of the show. Dawn is our lovely guest. And if you are a gentleman watching this show now or watching it as a replay and you're interested in connecting with Dawn, then all you have to do is email us at rawtalk2021@gmail.com. Send us all of your pertinent information, photo, video, height, weight, city you live in, name, social media, all of that good stuff. Yes,
Yes.
baby, he wants to dig deep into you. And then we'll let Dawn see. And if she has an interest, then she'll reach out. Cynthia says that she expects that if she's not feeling the vibe, that she'll move on to the individual where she does feel a vibe, and then she can begin to inquire with interest. And I'm with that.
Yeah, you definitely have to have an attraction. I think sometimes, we'll try to force something, and if you're not feeling a connection, don't fool yourself.
Right, don't waste any time. Terry Vincent is in the building, and he says that we should be upfront about where we're going in any relationship.
Absolutely,
Right.
I agree, Terrell.
Let them know. Everybody's in agreement with you on that. Put your expectations out front. What you expect, what you desire, or what you will accept or not accept. As another deal breaker, we didn't cover this. What's your stance on smoking and drinking?
Oh, those are good. So smoking, I do not, I don't smoke. And I personally, the smell of it just gets to me. No offense to those who do, but for me personally, I'm not used to being around it. So even when I go out, and I'm in environments where there's a lot of smoking, it's hard for me to even be in the presence of it. So smoking is definitely the drinking. I'm okay with social, you know what I mean? Those who drink socially or occasionally. I may have a glass of wine on occasions. I'm not really a big drinker, but I've noticed that, at one point I was like, oh, I don't want anybody that drinks. And realistically, I think people do celebrate and they do drink socially. So I'm open to that. Yeah.
And what about long distance?
Ooh, that's a good question. So what I have learned about myself, because I've tried, long distance doesn't typically work for me. I am my love language is quality time. So I like being able to have access where we can go out and see each other a couple of times a week at least. So if it's out of town or long distance, if we're only seeing each other every 2 weeks or once a month, I'm just being real with myself. It's hard for me to stay connected.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, so long distance typically doesn't work for me. Now, have I completely exited out? No, but it's not what I prefer. I would prefer someone who lives at least within driving distance where we can go and see each other a couple of times a week at least.
Yes, that's beautiful, and that's important. For people to know, because long distance requires a different level of commitment.
Yeah.
I've always had a pet peeve about the long distance relationships. For me, like I say, even if you're in the same town, it's the possibility you may just run up on what you need to see. But when he's 4 or 5 states away, the possibility of you even kind of like really things unwinding for you to walk up and see something, it's not going to happen. So they can have a whole new lifestyle, whole family, whole situation going on, and you not be aware of it for years. So,
and that's real.
That's dating for me. Yeah, I don't do long distance too well. I'm still trying to be a little open to it, but it's gonna be difficult for me to kind of really get with that program. I don't know. He's gonna have to be he's gonna have to be a great guy for me to do long distance.
Right, right. That's the only time we make those exceptions. When they're a great guy and you meet someone that's fantastic out of town, you do, you do try to be open-minded. But I'm with you. That's real what you said. Sometimes you just don't know. And I think sometimes when you're dating long distance, when you do get together, it's always happy and fun, and you're not able to see that person
That realness.
in the real everyday them. You're missing out on that. So yeah.
Yeah, Cynthia said it's not for her either. She can do without that. Yes, Terry, she is looking. She is a single, ready to mingle.
Ready to mingle.
And that's what this segment is about. It's featuring singles who are looking for their soulmate, looking for somebody special. Cynthia's like, and he must be a man. So a lot of online talk is going on now about the difference between having a male
and a man. Yeah. It's a difference.
It's a difference. What would be your definition of what a man is? What
that's
does a man do different from a male?
Well, I think a man is someone that they take the responsibility. They are leaders. They, again, going back, I know I keep reiterating, they know who they are and they know what they want. I feel like where a male may just be, he just playing around. You know what I mean? He's not serious. He doesn't have any trajectory. He doesn't know where he's going. Yes, no direction. But a man knows what he wants. He knows where he's headed. And then he steps up to the plate. You know what I mean? I think a man knows and he goes after. He's like a hunter. You know what I mean? He's not like leaving you like where you're confused. You don't know what's going on. Yeah, those are like childish games. But a mature man, a man who knows what he wants, he goes after it. And he's clear. He's clear. He has tunnel vision and he knows what he wants. So those are some differences. And then also just being accountable, being responsible, being a leader, a protector, a provider. Those are things that I personally would say, now that's a man. When he knows that's a man. You know what I mean? And then knows how to treat a woman. And when I say that, he knows just simple things, knowing how to open up the door, knowing how to open up the car door. He not walking through the door before you. Those are, to me, those are simple things, but sometimes that's a huge difference.
Yes.
And he, he just knows how to treat a woman. He knows how to compliment you. He knows how to make you feel like, you're loved, you're cared for. I love that. Yes.
Yes. Well, folks, yes, Peggy?
I was going to say, even when it comes to a man knowing how to use the proper tone when saying things to you, how to speak to you respectfully at all times, it's very difficult. Some men, they just come off any kind of way. They say stuff rude, disrespectful, talk to you sideways. And for me, that is the biggest turnoff that I can encounter.
I can't even get past that. You can't call me out my name and all of that, because I'm not going to disrespect you like that. So if you do that to me, that's like a deal breaker. Like I won't even entertain that conversation. I'm not big with that.
Yeah, and some men just don't know how to communicate and be respectful of a woman because it's just not in them, or they haven't been taught, or I don't really know what it is, but you have some men out there like that just don't know how to talk to a woman and be respectful at all times.
Yeah, and I know they have the same argument with women too, so I think it definitely works both ways. We have to know how to communicate with each other and respectfully.
Most definitely. So folks who are just catching up with us want to know more about you, Dawn. So understand, how old are you? Dawn is 45. She lives in Atlanta, and she's 6 feet tall, a stunning, breathtaking, fit.
Thank you.
with one daughter who is in college, and she is a Christian woman looking for a man of God. So there you go, if you want to know. Cynthia says a man can be honest and true to their feelings, and he's not going to play himself, and he's not going to play with you. That's her definition of a man.
Boys play around. Yeah, boys play with toys. Yeah. Not gonna play games.
Terry says, what are three things that lets you know, Dawn, that this man is the right man?
Ooh, that's a good question. I like that question. So I would say for me, one thing that will let me know that he's the right man is that he knows how, when he meets me, he's interested in knowing more about me and not just the physical. He wants to get to know the real me. Okay, so he's, asking the right question. He's engaged. He's getting to know my thought process. He's interested in finding out more about who I am. Also, one thing that will let me know that he's the right man, of course, spiritually, we're on the same page. You know what I mean? We're both lovers of God, and we're both striving to live this life for him and please him. So that's definitely number one. And then I would say I'm big on how you treat me. You know what I mean? Like, that's a big deal for me. I'm watching all of that and how you handle me. You're handling me with care. You're considerate of me. You want to, you almost begin even off the bat, want to, protect or kind of like look out for me. You're watching, you're paying attention to things about me that, I may, consider, those little things that will kind of give me an indication. Okay, this guy is not only into me, but he's on the right page. And yeah, he really is serious about who I am. So yeah, for me, those are some indications.
Yep, most definitely. Cynthia says sometimes it's hard for women to get a man with all of our requirements.
Yes.
But there's some that just have to be there.
Yeah.
And then you can compromise on some other things. What would you compromise on?
So I think we talked about the height thing. I will compromise on height. So those are so just in general, I think some things that are more physical attributes are not necessarily the end of all ends. If he's not, six pack, you know what I mean, and all of that, like, he doesn't have to be this, this perfect fit all together. But if he's working towards his fitness, to me, I can compromise on that. He may not physically be at his goal, but, because I'm always trying to, do better in those areas as well. So those are some things that I think when we think of our preferences, we may not get all of our preferences, but those core values, the faith aspects, now those are some things that I don't want to compromise on, because that's part of the core of who I am. But those outside and exterior things, I think those are some things that I'll be willing to compromise on. Yeah.
And Terry asked if you've been married before.
I have. Yes, I was married before for 11 years to my daughter's father, and I absolutely loved being married. It didn't damage my whole viewpoint on being remarried again. Loved being a wife. I consider myself a wife already. So yeah.
And that's important. We touched on that a little bit too in our private conversation about already being a wife. Because the scripture says, "He who findeth
a wife
finds a good thing." That means that she's already projecting all of the qualities of being a wife. She dresses like a wife. She carries herself like a wife. She is decent and respectable in her presentation. She already looks like the wife that you're looking for.
Right. And not only in the physical and how she presents herself, but even in her character. You know,
Right.
she's considerate, she's nurturing, she's, taking care of things, taking care of herself, taking care of her children. Those are qualities that, in my mind, a man, when they think of a wife material, they want someone who they know that they can trust with their children, someone that will be, a home, knowing simple things. She know how to cook a good meal. She know how to, keep the house
Yeah.
together. She know how to handle some financial decisions. She's a partner. She knows how to partner with him and build. So
Him better.
those are definitely wife qualities. Absolutely.
Tanita Anderson says, "Hey, Dawn."
Hey, Tanita! Oh, I love. Let me tell you, they make my heart just like melt. Thank you guys for being on. That's so sweet. Thank you.
Yes, most definitely. Cynthia says there are so many things that are important when you talk about dating and getting into a relationship. Terrell says, "What did you do to heal from your last relationship?"
That's so good. That's so good. That good
Oh,
question.
listen, he's
He's
good.
just, yeah, he's on it. I love it. Well, one of the biggest thing that, I did a lot. I'm a journaler, I journal. So I did a lot of self-reflecting. And I had to be honest with myself in those areas that that I messed up with. And as I, not putting all the blame on the other person, but looking at the things that I did, and then not only being honest with myself, but also forgiving myself, and also forgiving my ex. And sometimes when you're forgiving, you may have to have that conversation with them. It's one thing to say, Lord, I forgive them, and I'm moving on. But sometimes you have to confront the issue and make sure that they know that I have released all of that. So, that was a big part of my healing. And I give God the glory for that, because I know
Yeah.
it was nothing but God that helped me through that process. My divorce was difficult, and it was a period of time that I had to heal, and I had to reflect on Dawn. So, yeah. Absolutely. Take that time out to heal. And let me tell you, it was so funny, because I think one of the biggest indication where you're healed from something is that when it comes up, it's not triggers for you. You can be happy for that person when you see them with somebody else. My ex is remarried to a wonderful woman. They've been married now for 8 years, and we have a great relationship as a whole. And to me, that was nothing but blessings, because there was no baby mama drama. There was no issues with his new wife. We can even sit together at a meal and celebrate my daughter, which is his only child as well, and be able to fellowship and have a great time. So that's how those are some indications that okay, we're past that. Now we're like we can get along, we can still love, we can still do for each other,
Okay.
not holding the past over our heads.
Yep, most
Right.
definitely. Cynthia's going to scripture on us tonight. Virtuous woman, Proverbs
Yes.
31.
Who can find a virtuous woman? Yes. Yes.
Read that when you have time. Brenda Simmons is in the building.
Hey, Miss Brenda. These are single people, by the way, Miss B. So you might want to we might have to figure out to get them on this show as well.
Yes,
Hey,
that
Miss
would be
Brenda.
beautiful. That
Yeah.
would be beautiful. Yes, Peggy, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say also with doing your work, when healing from past relationships, and when you know you're over it, you do wish that person well, you pray for that person, you want to see them move on and be happy. You're happy for whoever they're going with. You want to pray for them because you know they're going to need it most likely. And, it doesn't bother you. You don't want to know, if you're co-parenting, that's good because you have to be a good co-parent together. But if you don't have
Yes.
kids with that person, then that's also great too, because you're not stalking pages, you're not trying to wonder what they're doing, who they with, what they, you let all that go. You forgive, like you say, you forgive yourself, you forgive them, and you God bless them. You move on your way. I am very good, so happy. It was a learning lesson. It was a blessing. It was whatever it was, and I'm so glad that that's over and done with, and now I can move on to greater and bigger, better things.
Yes.
Especially when you heal.
Yes.
You ready?
Yeah,
And I love what you say. You're able to see them blessed, and you're not feeling some kind of way
No
about
kind of
it.
way.
right.
you're
Yes.
happy, you're sincerely happy
Yes.
with them.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
those
Right.
are
Yes.
indications that, yeah, there has been healing, and it's a process. I'm telling you, it is
It's
a
a
process. This is
process.
not an
Oh yeah.
overnight thing, because you
No,
do have to
ma'am.
go through those stages. And when you've
Hmm.
been married for a significant amount of time, it rocks your world. It will shake
Hmm.
your world. And you're like,
Yeah.
Lord Jesus, but there is healing. And I know that for me, that is, and it's been 12 years since my divorce. So it's been a significant amount of time. So I've had the opportunity to do the work.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Your salt sister, Jackie Williams, is in the building.
Hey, Jackie.
They on the check-in. They are checking
Yes.
in.
Terry wants to know, how hard was it for you to forgive?
You know what? It was hard, but again, to God be the glory. I think when you are a God-fearing person, you recognize the importance of forgiveness. So it wasn't something where I can, just casually say, I'll eventually forgive, or I didn't want to forgive. I knew I had to forgive, because when I think about how God has forgiven me, that's what keeps me in that mindset that I have to be ready to forgive at all times.
All time.
And so that I know that, you know what I mean? So because of that, and because that's such a huge part of my faith, there was no questions. I knew that that was going to be the next process. And it is difficult, but when you know that, that's your heart's desire, you do what you have to do. Yeah.
Yes. I often say that forgiveness is a gift you give yourself.
Yes, yes. Because when you don't forgive, you're really holding yourself in prison. That
Right.
person had, they will move on with their
Move
lives,
on.
and
Yes.
you're in your own prison, holding that person, and
Absolutely.
they've moved on. And so it
Yeah.
is a gift to yourself. And this is why it's important for us to forgive, so that we can free ourselves, so that we can move forward.
Yes. Terry says this is his last question. Do you feel that forgiveness and everything you've done has prepared you for the right man to be your husband?
Yes, I have been in preparation. Yes, I definitely feel that way. And I feel that, even going through that experience of, the heartbreak and all of that, I believe it makes you stronger. They always say what doesn't kill you make you stronger. It builds character. It really
Mhm.
does.
It does.
Because the reality is, we know no relationship is perfect, and
Right.
we're always going to face difficult times. And so when you learn to forgive, and you learn to let go, you may have to do that again later on in life in your future relationship. So, it's building character. It's building, to me, the fruit of the spirit: love, patience, kindness, all of that, all of that, going through that builds you. And I feel like, for me, without a shadow of a doubt, one thing I will say, in the blessing of going through that, is because I became stronger in my character, and who I am. So I think that that's great preparation for my future husband.
Yes.
Yes.
Shout out to my goddaughter, Kim.
Hey,
Thank
goddaughter.
you.
Kim Hill is in the building. Well, she does Hill Kim. Is in the building. She is an awesome woman of God, and the founder of Jewels on Purpose, reminding women that we are jewels, that we are queens, that we have a purpose. And she says, when you do your facts over your feelings, you can't help but forgive.
Yeah, absolutely. When you know what you know, you can't unknow the truth. And when you know the truth, you have to walk in it. And God will give you the grace. God is so good. He will give you the grace to get through it, and He will give you the strength. There is definitely healing that can actually take place. And when I meet people that are so broken, you know what I mean, and they're so hurt over past relationships, it really my heart goes out to them, because I know it's tough. But again, there's life after. There is still more to come. Just because it didn't work out doesn't mean that life is over. There's still more. God still has greater and more in store for you.
Well, Cynthia says that she's proud of you. She knows it wasn't easy, but it was necessary. And we do what we have to do.
Yeah.
You know, we do what we have to do. I can remember being in relationship and being in a lot of pain and trauma. I went to a women's retreat. Women were there, you know, uh, giving testimony to their lives and what had happened to them. And one woman got up there and she told my complete story. Have you ever done that? Have you ever seen a testimony and somebody has given
You're
your,
like, that's me. That's
that's
all me.
me. I said, oh my God, that's me. Oh my God, that's me. And when it was time for altar call, I was a mess. I was a mess because she had just laid, I felt like she had told all of my business and nobody even knew. Well, maybe the people, my sisters who I was with, they knew. And but when I went up there and laid it out on the altar, when I gave it all up, when I just let it all go, here is the difference that I felt. The same story didn't hurt anymore. It was like having a bruise, and you touch it every once in a while just to see if it still hurts. And then I would touch it and it didn't hurt. It didn't hurt anymore. He took away the pain, replaced it with forgiveness, and I was free.
Yes. Come on now. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
And anything that we go through is for women. I believe everything that we go through, we have so many similar situations and hurts and pains that we go through, but our stories and what we go through is not only for ourselves, it's for somebody else. It's always for us to encourage somebody else that they can go through it, they can come through it, they can be an overcomer and come out on the other end and be great. It's always for somebody else. And I kind of can kick myself in the butt sometimes because I don't open my mouth. I don't really speak and say some of the things that I really need to say. But if we open our mouths and we'll be transparent with other women, hey, baby, I know exactly what you're saying. I've been there. I've been walking around. I've been there. I know what you're feeling. I know what you're going through, but you can get through this. You can get over this. It's not, it was for your good. Really. It was for your good. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. It's the power of our testimony. I have a podcast that I started called Power of My Testimony. And it was literally the vision behind that was just for that, to people to open up about, and I get it. Sometimes we go through things that we don't want to share. We keep it secret, for whatever reason. But like you said, Miss B, when that woman opened up her mouth and shared her testimony, and this is why it's important, we can identify. And a lot of times, like you said, Miss Peggy, that a lot of times it's similar. It's similar to the same things that we're facing. There's nothing new under the sun. You know what I mean? There's nothing new under the sun. So when we open up our mouths and we begin to share our testimony, we don't know who we're reaching, who needs to hear that word in that moment, and how it's freeing them in that moment when they begin to share. And I agree with you, Miss Peggy. Everything we go through is not just for us to grow, but it's to help somebody else. It's for somebody else. I believe that wholeheartedly. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, when we started out, Dawn said, "How long do you think I'll be on?" And I said, "Oh, Dawn, we'll do it for it may be about 15 or 20 minutes, 30 minutes. We'll talk with you and then we'll move on to something else." But it got good, didn't it?
It is still juicy. It's
so good. Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it. I just love when women can get together and we could just talk and encourage each other. It's so beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. I love it.
It's a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
And you know what? And we're going to defy all of the other things. My goddaughter mentioned this at the luncheon we did a week ago, and she said, they say that women can't get together and get along and get things done, and we're going to change that story. That is not our story.
Queens unite, not fight.
Yeah, I like that. That's it.
Queens unite, not fight. Yes. That's it. That's the power move right there. Queens unite, not fight.
Yep.
Yes.
And we can and we do. And so and I said, well, Dawn, we'll talk about that for a little while, and then we'll move on to something else. We wanted to talk about clothing and how women present themselves and all of that stuff. And you're right, Cynthia, we have to break that curse that they
Yes.
put on us, saying that women can't do things and get along, because
Right.
the truth be
That's a lot
told,
of
we
material.
run the world.
Yes,
Yeah.
we do.
And
You
we
know,
see it a lot. We see it a
Also.
lot on social media and all of these reality show where women are attacking each other. And that's the message that they're
Trick of the
trying to
enemy.
send out. But the devil is a liar. When
Devil's a
we
liar,
know how to
right.
encourage each other, and we're supposed to be that way. We're supposed to love one another, help
Yes.
one another, like be our sister's keeper. You know what I mean?
Right.
I can help you, you can help me, I can learn from you, you can learn from me. That's how it should be.
Right.
We're in this
Right.
together. Absolutely.
yes.
All
I like
together.
the women on TikTok who say, I'm a woman, and if you're a woman and you support other women, then follow me and I'll follow you. And, and
Yes.
encouraging each other, because there's plenty out there for
For
everybody.
everybody.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it's not a competition. We can support each other. We can be, because we're all unique. There's no need for the
Yes.
competition. Each of
Right.
us are
There's so much.
individually unique. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So we can all be great in our own right, in our
That's
own
right.
person, be great.
And it's enough room for everybody to win. I mean, why
Yes,
wouldn't you want your
yes,
sister to win? Why wouldn't you want to pick up the next woman? Why would you want to feel so haughty and so greater than thou that I'm better than everybody else and everybody has to look
right.
up to me?
Yeah.
No, we all trying to, come up and do things together and lift each other up. You can't kick people when they're down, and I feel like sometimes women get caught up in that cattiness. They
Yeah.
get stuck in
Yeah.
that I gotta be better, I gotta be greater, I gotta shine the most. And
No.
it's not about that.
It's not. It's about
It's not
being the
about that.
greatest, grandest vision of yourself that you can be,
Yes.
That's
and
Yes.
right.
working on that
Yes.
so that you can walk in your purpose and be a blessing to
Yes.
everyone who you come in contact
Come
with.
contact with. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And that's the
Yes.
legacy you want to leave. You want to leave this earth where people can look at you and remember how you impacted. You know what I mean? You weren't being catty and competition. That's foolishness. No one has time for that. We try to do great things, and it takes a village. It takes all of us helping each
Yes.
other. You're not on an
Right.
island by yourself. So you're right. The support is necessary. I need you. You need me. We need each other.
Yes,
Right.
we do. And
Yeah.
just to let you know, Jules on Purpose has a public Facebook page where ladies can come and join the group and promote yourself.
I'm
And
enjoying that.
yes,
Yes.
and so you and I can be part of the Atlanta extension of Jules on Purpose, because
Okay.
it's in Orlando. But listen,
It's
we're
worldwide. It's all
worldwide.
over.
We're
It's
international.
worldwide.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. I love it. Full on
Yes.
purpose.
Yes, and the slogan that she came up with for the group, well, Jules on Purpose is one, but her company is I Am Tailor Made, a creation by God in your own uniqueness.
Yes. I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
So there are women out here doing great things who have
Yes.
overcome all sorts of tragedies and trauma, and we come out victorious.
Yes.
Every time. And that's right, Cynthia. There's plenty of room at the top. There's
Yes.
enough of
Yes.
everything to go around, and we're not putting up with no foolishness.
Right.
Just
Yes.
not doing it. So we wanna thank you for being with us, and remind everybody who is watching to let your single friends know that Singles and Soulmates is part of a new segment of Raw Talk. And you can reach out to us at our email, rawtalk2021@gmail.com, to send your personal information, gentlemen, if you are interested in making a connection with the beautiful, lovely Dawn. And or if you're interested in being part of the show, girlfriend Peggy and I would love for you to be our guest. It would be
Absolutely.
tremendous.
Yes.
It's fabulous. So, a final last words in parting, Dawn.
Well, I just want to say thank you both, Miss B and Miss Peggy. Thank you all so much. I just thoroughly enjoyed my conversation with you all tonight. I love what you're
Yeah.
doing. I support it. Thank you for everyone who tuned in. Salt family, thank you. And to all the guests that came on, thank you all. Thank you for the good questions, Terrell. That was excellent. So yeah, I want to support you in whatever way. If you need me to go recruit some singles, I will be more than happy to help. So just let me know. Thank you so much for having me on.
All right,
Thank you.
wonderful. Thank you. Well, we're letting you know now. You can go recruit some
Go
singles.
recruit, yeah.
I will.
Yes, most
Some gentlemen.
definitely. And we want to thank everyone who was in the virtual building with us tonight. And Cynthia says that you are just a great guest and it was a great
Thank you,
show.
Cynthia. Thank you.
And I agree. You were absolutely delightful.
Oh,
Girlfriend
Yeah.
Peggy, any
Yeah.
words of wisdom for you before we say goodnight?
Just everybody keep their eyes up, keep their ears open, and hearts towards the Lord, because what we're looking for is coming. We just got to believe it's on the way.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Amen.
coming.
All right, that's wonderful. Well, thank you, ladies. Wednesday night, 9 o'clock, Raw Talk Live on Facebook at Raw Talk and on YouTube at Real Ass Women Raw Talk. My name is Miss B. Love you, baby.
Love